This is the F1 Show podcast. We're back.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. I'm the man, host and host, Wayne, and this is the man in the pits with the tits, standing above everybody, all those people there. Where's that? Is that a pit? That's a track, isn't it?
It's the pit lane in Sao Paulo in Brazil, my friend.
That's quite a wide pit lane.
Weekend.
That is a wide pit lane.
Yeah, it's going to take the mechanics quite a while to run across to the pit wall.
Is it really that wide? Or no, wait a minute. Look, behind your head, that's where. No, that's got to be the track. That's got to be the track. I'm confused.
Would you like me to tell you where I got the picture from?
As long as we're not going to breach any kind of copywriting laws, let's just do it.
It's right out my window at the
I
moment.
don't care if they take the money from this video. Why? Because we don't earn any. Are you listening, Carl? We don't earn any money, all right?
Yeah, Carl.
Carl, we can't afford t-shirts. Carl, what are you thinking? No, actually, Carl, how about this? We'll send you the logo. You design the t-shirt.
Yeah.
How about that? We are going to send you, Carl, mate. Seriously, we're going to send you a little gift. And we're going to send you, when we went to the Belgian Grand Prix, you could go on the track and you could pick up little bits of rubber from the tyres that have been left from the race. And they are, so I've got lots of little bits of rubber. So really, I'm just going to send you a black bit of rubber. And a couple of leaflets. Carl, we'd love to send out t-shirts, but we're not at that level yet, dude. If you could get us 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours a year, which is about 11 hours a day, if you can get us that, I know this because I've got another YouTube channel, not going to plug it in this one, but I've got another one and I know what the parameters are. If you can do that, Carl, in Australia, hey?
Truth, mate, that's big ask.
Truth. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? If you can do that, Carl, then we will buy you a lot of t-shirts.
All right, so back to your question about the pit lane.
Okay, we'll return to Carl later on because we know he's watching. Okay.
Yeah. Let me share my screen.
While I drink this wine.
You need to let me share the screen.
I need to let you do that, do I?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh no! That's the wrong button, isn't it? This is why it is the lowest of quality. Share. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. But you couldn't spell that. But you can't spell simultaneously. I can't. I'm a teacher. Oh, told everybody. Okay. So here we go.
This image here is a full width pit lane. Can you see that?
Okay, it's quite wide then.
Yeah. And that's the cars there, and you can see there's branding and there's a whole. It is wider than your average pit lane, I would say.
Wider than your average pit lane. It's also good that I can see your email address right at the top there, so someone can see.
Where?
Right at the top there, it says Yahoo, along the top bar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It
might not be Yahoo. It could be.
There you go. Oh,
it could be some other.
At yabbadabadoo.co.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you'll never know, guys. So, should we go straight to pit talk while I sip this? What do you reckon? Because basically, guys, we've done our predictions. We're all ready for Sao Paulo. We could look at our predictions again at the end. I thought maybe we could re-examine them. We're not going to change them.
We've got sprint predictions to do.
We could do a sprint prediction edition. Have we ever done that?
No, don't we have?
There's a sprint at the Sao Paulo. We'll do that. Just for a bit of fun. Maybe an extra point each. Just to... Whoa.
That's getting pulled. You get pulled for that, don't you?
Yeah. We'll work that out in a minute. Let's go to pit talk.
So we're going to talk about
the news.
Obviously, it's an in-between week. It's an in-betweeners week. There is a lot of chit-chat still about that last Haas seat. Is it going to be the Hulk or is Mick going to stay there?
Well,
what would Gunter do?
I don't think it's going to be the Hulk.
if you're gonna go for banter, I think the Hulk would be pretty good. Yeah, I think he had a falling out with
K-Mag. K-Mag. Yeah. Where's my music?
Yeah, falling out with K-Mag. So it might be worth, Netflix getting them in there just for the background drama llamas. But,
well, apparently they resolved that. I saw a video on that. Is that we probably watched the same video? We should watch the same video.
It's still there's been fire between them, but it was a recent incident.
Is K-Mag? I saw a video that said K-Mag might not be that secure either. I can't see that. They're not going to ditch K-Mag.
No. Gunther has said that he doesn't want 2 rookie drivers again. He wants an established driver and then bring someone else in. So maybe if K-Mag is kind of shaky, then they're looking to replace the experienced driver, because the rookies are 10 a penny. They're lining up. They can get them from Ferrari. They can pick their own. They can find rookies are relatively easy to find.
But it was a comment by Ralph Schumacher, who said that
he's not biased.
He's not biased, obviously. that Mick Schumacher knows the car now. So, but he's still a rookie, isn't he? What are we talking about? But he knows the car now, and they might put another German in there. That's what that was heard. That's what it was read. But he knows the car, so
Yeah, he's, like I said, he's biased though. So yeah, that's one story.
Do you know what? How mad is that? I read that story and I watched a video on it. Not once did I think he was biased. And I said, no, you've just gone, yeah, his name's Schumacher. What a stupid. Of course it's. Oh, wake up.
Ladies and gentlemen, as was pointed out earlier, Wayne is a teacher. This is what the problem.
Wayne is in charge of the next generation.
And he doesn't realize that Mick Schumacher may be related to Ralph Schumacher.
Yeah, I don't know what the clue is to those two.
No.
So this is going to go. It's just going to. They keep saying that this is the time they're going to make the decision, and they keep kicking it into the grass, don't they?
Yeah.
But why? Like you say, there's lots of those hungry little puppies in the little puppy pen of Red Bull or Ferrari. Have they got Ferrari choice? Have they? Or is it? Can they choose anybody? Because contracts mean nothing nowadays, do they? Hey,
well, this is the thing. So Giovinazzi is part.
Who's a Nazi? Who's a Nazi?
Antonio Giovinazzi.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're not going in. Go on.
I mentioned the war all day.
Go on, Giovinazzi. Joe's a Nazi.
Antonio the Italian.
Yes.
He is one of the Ferrari junior drivers. He's part of the junior driver program. So is Mick Schumacher, several others. And because Haas are a Ferrari engine customer, they get first pick, and there's crossover.
They get second pick next to Ferrari, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. But they're the warm-up seat for Ferrari. And I think
but they sit in the seat and warm it up, and then they get out.
They get them up to race speed.
Okay.
In a car that they can crash. And it doesn't cost Ferrari money.
Yeah.
Mick Schumacher would have been, if he'd done that, if he'd caused that amount of damage to Ferrari as he's done to Haas, he'd have been out of there, lickety split. So,
really? Did you just say lickety split?
I did say lickety split.
Is that a word?
Whooping and lickety split are currently words of my that I'm using.
You've updated your vocabulary. You've had
They're in my current lexicon.
You've had an operating system update.
That's it. Yeah, I've had.
What was it again? Lickety split. Lickety split.
Lickety split. Yeah, it means quickly.
Quickly then. Could say what? Lickety split. I'm going to use that tomorrow at work.
In
come on, lickety split. Come on, kids. Right. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, see how much they laugh at you.
Well, they do that anyway. So
the next thing, again, the cost cap. This is an interesting bit of detail. We like detail.
We're all about quality and detail on this podcast.
Jos Capito has been asked about the catering issues that affect the cost cap, and he's quoted as saying, for example, if the team eat in the paddock hospitality for the evening, it falls under the cost cap. If they eat outside in a restaurant and bill it back to the company, it doesn't fall under the cost cap.
Why would it not do that?
I don't make up the rules, mate. I just read these off websites. I mean, I just know this stuff.
It's ridiculous.
Well, the team is much cheaper, simpler, and less complicated if they eat in hospitality, and there's less risk. And yet, you can't do that because then it falls under the cost cap. So you eat outside.
You know what the answer is? Bring your own sandwiches.
How can you make your sandwiches if you're staying in the local Premier Inn? You know, if you're a Haas mechanic, you're not going to be able to knock up a ham and cheese sandwich first thing in the morning, are you?
My problem. That's what they say. Pick up a sandwich on the way in. Done. Job done. Cost cap reduced.
Pret a manger outside.
We have this at work. We've got this at work. There's some. Don't even get me started.
All right. Could you imagine? Right, we've been to Spa.
No one wants to pay for milk and sugar.
We've been to Spa. All right. Could you imagine living on that quality of food every weekend?
You know, I did get a bit.
We were there Thursday. We were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was done with that food on Saturday afternoon.
I was done with it Sunday. The chips and mayo, I loved them, but they were just doing my nutting a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank God we bought those pot noodles. Great British food. Great British grub. I wasn't done with that restaurant though. Ooh-wee.
That was nice.
That was what second best steak I've ever had. Second best steak.
Second best.
Yeah.
That was nice though, wasn't it?
It was lovely. It was lovely. What was it called?
I've got the card upstairs somewhere.
Oh, we should be plugging that. Get some.
We saw the
elephant camping. We stayed at elephant camping, didn't we?
And we saw the Alpine mechanics outside the bar. They stopped and bought some beer.
Yeah, they did buy some beer, the Alpine mechanics, and then they went and changed it a little bit. Yeah, in the space it took them to go get a beer and come back, the Ferraris just about managed to do a pit stop. Oh, that was evil. Are you still there, buddy? You've frozen on me there. There you go. There you go. Oh, you were incredibly still.
Ferrari stopped at the bar that was shut though.
Hey.
That's
oh, you're frozen again.
And the news. That's how slow a week for news it is in the F1 world. Do you know where Hammer Time comes from? The Hammer Time comment.
Well, it's MC Hammer, isn't it?
Yeah, but when Bono says it to Lewis, Wayne, just remember this is a Formula One podcast, so there's a good chance when I make a reference to something, it is
it's a little bit Formula One. Okay.
Do you know where the Hammer Time comment that Lewis Hamilton, who's number 44 and drives for Mercedes, in case you don't know,
how dare you question my knowledge on Formula One when you can't even name a Formula One world champion outside of 2010.
If there are people listening to this, they were all shouting the same thing at you.
No, I don't know. When is it? When was it?
Where it comes from?
Is it Sao Paulo, 2008?
No, it's
just guessing.
So obviously Bono and Lewis have a long-standing relationship, 12 of the 13 years. He's been at Mercedes. Bono's been his engineer, right? So they're like, he's like.
I can't respect a guy who's named after a dog biscuit. Anyway, go.
Bonington.
Okay, go on. Anyway.
So
is that Bonio? Go on.
Formula One, not dog food.
Okay.
Not rap 80s rap music.
You know that was good for the time.
Okay.
Go on anyway, please. I'm desperate to know. Let me just pour some wine. I'm getting myself ready. Have you frozen again, or are you just keeping still?
I'm just astounded at you.
Okay. Why? Cool. Now let's start this again. I don't know, Brendan.
Hi, welcome to the Everyone Show podcast.
Why does Bono? Where did that come from? Man in the pits. We'll go over to the man in the pits who needs to find out why Hammer Time is a thing.
Thanks, Wayne. From my sources within the Mercedes garage, I have found out that by reading websites that
by googling, yeah,
not even that difficult.
Okay,
but Lewis, Bono used to say to him, "It's time to push," and Lewis's reply was, "I'm pushing already, mate. I'm not out here for a Sunday drive kind of thing, you know."
Yeah. So, standard, is it? That's a standard, isn't it?
So they had a discussion between two colleagues, and it was established that what Bono was wanting Lewis to do was to go all out, right? Time to just leave your cards on the table, just go everything on the pitch, kind of thing. Which was more than it's time to push it. So they wanted a signal, and he was like, "All right, well, just tell me it's hammer time, and I'll drop the hammer." So, boom, there you go. Great story, eh?
Well, I thought it would have some kind of other reference. Maybe one day he was in the pits and a mechanic dropped a hammer on his foot. Why they'd have a hammer, I don't know.
The only other story I've heard that that's similar to that is also is disappointing. It's how Stormzy, the musician, got his name. That's one that you're going to have to look up yourself. And if anyone can find out and tell us how Stormzy got his name, then please feel free to drop a...
Are you a fan of Stormzy's music?
Yeah, I like some of it. Yeah, it's quite good. I like Heavy as a Crown. That's a really good song. I like that.
Okay. I prefer MC Hammer.
Well, enough said, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a like.
I prefer MC Hammer.
Give us a thumbs up for MC Hammer and give us a heart emoji for Stormzy.
Is there any other Formula One nicknames out there?
Honey Badger.
Yeah, how's he got that? That's like honey badgers are vicious as well. They're vicious creatures.
Give a shit, man. Have you watched that bit?
Are they really bad at driving?
No, they're just mental.
Sorry. We Daniel proved his capabilities driving in the last race. People, I redact. Is that the word? Redact that statement.
Well, that's when you score it out with a pen, mate.
Redact.
Yeah.
Retract.
There you go. Use your big words, Wayne.
I'm sure it's redacted.
Redacted.
Okay.
When you're given a top secret or a confidential document and you take out confidential bits with the pen.
Let's drink some of this idiot juice and then we'll find out what it really is. More news. Sorry.
The Honey Badger is a reference to his racing style, explaining that it's supposed to be the most fearless animal in the animal kingdom. When you look at it, he seems quite cute and cuddly, but as soon as someone crosses his territory in a way he doesn't like, he turns into a bit of a savage.
He loses his contract and ends up.
Tigers, pythons. He turns very quickly, but deep down, he's a good guy.
Oh.
There you go.
So, there must be. I'm gonna. Top 10 F1 nicknames. Anyway, while you're Googling that, what else have we got in the news? Is there anything like spicy here, apart from sandwiches in cost cap? I mean, this is such a quiet week.
No, it is. I mean,
and a lot of it as well.
It's the end of the season. There's a lot of stuff that's been churned up before. Schumacher or Hulk to Haas. Mercedes admit Mexico was a mistake. Oh, here's some news for you. You'll like.
Hot off the press, people. Hot off the press. Brendan, down in the pits. Can you confirm what you just said there? Come on.
Tyre compounds for the coming weekend.
Oh. All right. Leave the hard tyre at home.
If Ferrari are going, if Ferrari are in the league, guess which compound they're putting on?
Oh, the hard tyre, obviously.
It's the C2, mate. It's the same one.
What? WTF? What's going on?
It's been the hard tyre in these Grand Prix this season. Saudi Arabia, Imola, Miami, France, Hungary, Belgium, Italy, US, and Mexico.
Has anybody won a race this season on the hard tyre?
Has anyone put in a decent lap time on the hard tyre? No, I don't think anyone
has. I'm serious. Has anyone won a race on the hard tyre? Finishing the race on a hard tyre. You could check that right now. Or you could get one of our many employees. I'm sure Carl thinks we've got hundreds of employees printing T-shirts out the back here.
Carl can do that.
Carl can do that. That's a question for Carl. Put it in the comments, please. Right, so...
Carl can get 2 pieces of tyre rubber if he tells us if anyone has done it.
We should have told him he's going to be so gutted with that prize. So what
we'll
the hell is this?
Prize, right?
I wanted DVDs and you sent me this?
Carl, we're saving you the money. The DVDs wouldn't play in your region of the world unless you've got a multi-regional DVD player.
And you're not getting one of those out of us.
Yeah, no. The reason Wayne is giving
DVDs now. Where are they?
The reason Wayne's giving the DVDs away is that he doesn't have a DVD player.
No, I've watched them. They're very good. You are missing out, Carl. I don't know where the DVDs are gone now. They were next to me.
Oh no, that was a good look. Wherever you had your head there, your head vanished and your body was there. But what's the lady behind you, Greta?
Greta. I don't know what her name is. I can't quite. Anymore, what more news have we got here? What more news?
That's pretty much it, mate.
No, it can't be. It can't be. I can find something.
Verstappen's the most dominant I've ever seen from Horner. Audi.
Is there anything still going on about this? Ted's notebook thing. Well, is that still going to go on?
They were negotiating with. They didn't talk to them at the launch of Las Vegas, but the head of F1's, the head of Sky's F1 was discussing it with the Red Bull representatives. They were in negotiations, so I'm sure they'll be back. It's not in anybody's interest for them to do that. It's quite petty, to be honest.
And it shows things here. Go on.
I think it shows the sport in a bad way.
Yeah, just move on. You're all on millions of pounds. Let's not all sulk about it.
There are a few articles about good wet weather races, especially in Sao Paulo. So, are we in your as the podcast historian? What's the stats on a wet race in Sao Paulo? Go.
Stats. Yeah. Stats. I'm going to do the stats. I've seen some. It does rain a lot. There you go.
Right, there we go. That's close enough.
That's close enough. There's a death threat here. What's this about? FIA president condemns death threats against race steward Sylvia Bellot. What's this? The president of the FIA, Mohammed Ben Shahyi, has condemned death threats made against F1 race steward and warned that toxic abuse directed at FIA staff and volunteers threatens to destroy the sport. As F1 reels,
I think destroys the sport is a pretty punchy comment.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you say that once more, we're not gonna race. Go on, say it on Twitter. All right, that's it. Everybody home. It's nonsense. Poisonous online abuse between fans of different drivers. Oh, let's read this again. As F1 reels under an onslaught of often poisonous online abuse between fans of different drivers, Ben Shahyi, that's the guy, revealed that the FIA steward Sylvia Bellot had recently received death threats. It's just, what is it with people online? Don't be online. That's my motto.
They're unsupervised, mate.
I just don't do social media. Don't go on Twitter for a start, because it's just a cesspit of idiots. Sorry, people. Not all. Old Lewis Hamilton now is a citizen of Brazil.
Yep, that's a minor story. That's I was just reading.
Good luck to him. It's I actually think it's quite funny that they adore him, because like I said, in 2008. Do you remember 2008 Formula One season? Obviously not. Yeah. Anyway, he was, because he won it in that. Did you watch that thing I sent you?
Yeah.
That's no then. See how we communicate. See how this is the only time we speak to each other, podcast listeners.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Anyway, he was booed because obviously he took the title away from Massa, the 32nd world champion. He was terribly booed, and he didn't even get on the podium on that race, and he won the title. And poor old Massa had to stand on the podium, having lost the title on that weekend. Well, anyway, it's strange that they've taken him to their hearts, really.
Yeah, good comeback.
That is the ultimate comeback. It's the Senna adoration, though. If you like Senna in Brazil, not so much Piqué.
Is that genuine?
Not so much Piqué. If you went there as a fan of Piqué, they go, yeah, he's not our favourite.
There's a couple of fans of Piqué in the paddock, isn't there?
There's a couple of, really? Go on, who?
Max.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And Daniel Kvyat.
I don't think Daniel Kvyat is a friend of a Piqué now.
He was. He's a baby daddy, isn't he?
Jeez, Danny. Must be a little bit
disappointed. Baby daddy.
Yeah. Jolene Palmer on Haas Curveball. Kevin Magnussen, Nico Rosberg for next year.
We're going over the same stuff again.
I'm reading it now. Okay, I'm reading it now.
I did read an interesting article about how Alfa Romeo may be back with another car manufacturer.
Okay.
With another race team, sorry. And I'm just trying to find out. I can't remember if it was Haas or so it would be Haas Alfa Romeo. Or who it was. I'm trying to find it, but yeah, they said that they would be back. 2024.
I'm sure that's oh my god, this is a bit more spicy. Bits of Daily Express. Haas boss comes out swinging over Mick Schumacher with F1 future unclear, and it says tough shit.
Yeah.
Do you? This is wait a second. This is F1 Planet. Okay, Brad Pitt left Aston Martin stressed with very long visit to garage in Austin. Let's have a look at this. So, what did he just hang around eating the sandwiches? Oh, but the cost cap went over the. How can Aston Martin be stressed? Because I'm not going to. I'll click off. Right, okay. Mike Crack. That's an unfortunate surname in of itself. Mike Crack was happy to help Brad Pitt with his F1 movie entourage at the United States Grand Prix, but admitted their visit to Aston Martin had caused chaos. The Hollywood star was in Austin on a fact-finding mission for the movie in which he will play, reading out loud again, he will play a racer who returns from retirement to mentor a youngster and take his own final stab at glory as a teammate. Lewis Hamilton is involved in the production and this is the guff now, blah, 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 blah. And these news articles do this all the time. They'll give you the headline. They'll say something like Lewis Hamilton is thinking of doing this. Oh, and you get a click on it and it will go Lewis Hamilton and it will give you Lewis Hamilton's complete entire history before it even gets to the point where it goes, this is just a rumor, you know.
It's called filler, mate.
Yeah, it's called filler. Yeah, okay.
It's called what we're doing right now.
It's exactly what we're doing right now, people. We're sorry to say, because there's not been a race and we've done our predictions a bit too keen. That's the word, isn't it? Keen?
If you want to send us your stories from F1, email us at the F1show. Email.com.
Pitt then met up with all 10 F1 team bosses and spent much of his time at the track in Aston Martin. Apart from when he exchanged a few reluctant words. Very odd turn of phrase, isn't it? I'm going to give him some reluctant words. Well, don't give him the words if you don't want to. Weird. With Martin Brunner during the pre-race, but while Aston Martin team principal Crack just grow up. Crack did not mind giving the film personal access to discover what goes on behind the scenes. He did suggest that they had perhaps outstayed their welcome by a fraction, by about 100. By what? By a half, a quarter? What fraction? They were with us for a very long time, much longer than expected, said Crack, quoted by Motorsport magazine. This is an article about another article, basically. This is like, how much do they just copy and paste another article onto it?
Yep.
And then publish it? To be honest, it threw our schedule off. We were a bit stressed then, having revealed that team owner Lawrence, for Christ's sake, Lawrence Stroll was also involved. Crack hopes the project will be a big screen success, with Hamilton having said he wants it to be the best racing movie ever. It's a tall order. There's not many out there, actually.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder's good because it's got Tom in it. But
have you noticed his tooth?
Who? Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
What's wrong with his tooth?
Have you not noticed?
Well,
did I tell you this before? I think I did, but I don't think you realised what I was saying. Next time you're watching a Tom Cruise movie, right?
Yeah.
Especially one of the early ones.
Yeah. He's had his teeth done since then, hasn't he?
Yeah, his tooth, right? Normally, the gap in the middle of your teeth is in line with your nose, right?
Not Tom mine, Cruise, mate. You know that, not mine.
Yours are in line with the way they point, mate. They're just, yeah.
Yeah, but
Last time I saw a lineup like that, I was in a vandalised graveyard.
This is how low we've gone. This is how
Tom Cruise's tooth is right.
Oh, thank God for that. It's frozen. Come on, connection.
Middle.
All of that. Do you know what?
See it, once you see it,
no, I don't know, mate. You just froze. Just that brief moment you were coming to the punchline, and you froze.
Right in the middle of his tooth, in his nose, like that.
Yeah.
One of his teeth, right in the middle there. There's a space there and a space there, but the one's right in the middle. Should be right in the middle. You know, there should be a gap all the way down like that.
Well, do you know what? I don't think that affects him. I don't think that affects his life. I really don't think that.
It's not about affecting him. It's about affecting you, mate. I want to screw up your movie enjoyment. Next time you watch
the singer from T'Pau, Carol Decker.
Carol Decker, yeah.
She's got one eye lower than the other.
Oh yeah, but do you know what?
She's never on telly. But when someone told me that when I was at school, every time I saw her on top of the pops, all I could see was his eyes.
I just crashed the internet there. Right to the funniest part of the whole podcast.
Anyway, what was I reading? I was reading something. Shush. Crack hopes the project will be. Have I read that?
Have you gone that far back?
The producers are serious and professional, said the fifth year. Anyway, the Tom Cruise thing. Okay, he's had his teeth done. There, finished. Done. I was going to say something else. It's all completely gone out of my head. I was reading this. Have you seen Rush? Have you seen Rush with?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Did you like that? And you've not seen Senna.
Senna movie, no.
Okay, that's what we should have done, shouldn't we? This week we could have both watched it, and we could have chatted about that.
Oh, yeah, when am I going to do that? I had a committee meeting last night. I've got this tonight. Monday night, I was doing Monday night. It was Cubs. Tomorrow night and Friday we've got family visit.
I don't want your life story, mate.
Come on.
You know.
I might to come back so I can sit and vegetate on the
one film. You could watch half of it one night, half of it another night. Job done. What are you eating there?
I don't do that.
Have you got chocolate? What is that? Chocolate? Is that a chocolate orange?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got any chocolate in the house. I did find some chocolate in my fridge, right? You wouldn't believe this.
Oh, I will. If it's got fur growing on it.
It's not. It's still in the wrapper, right? You're frozen again. Look, you're frozen again, or you having a stroke and your face has stayed in that way. No, there you go. Right. It's still got the wrapper right on it, and it's a 2012 Olympic chocolate bar from the Olympics 2012. Wasn't even living here. I don't even know how it's here because I wasn't living here in 2012.
You've moved it to that fridge.
I can't imagine I've done that. What?
A family friend came to visit after we had some bad news, and we gave her a chocolate orange for the first time. And as soon as she got home, she posted us a crate of chocolate oranges.
Wowzers.
Mate, I'm loving them. Not sick of them yet.
You like a chocolate orange. Russell issues Las Vegas concern to F1 rivals.
Right, is that Murray?
That
Murray I can hear?
Yeah.
Murray?
Unless I'm very much mistaken.
Hey. What we like to hear from Murray all the time. So, let's have a look at some more news from F1 world.
There was a sponsorship story that came through.
Go on.
It's United Arab Emirates are being dropped as one of the title sponsors.
Why is that?
Just not renewing the deal. But Qatar
they're not
Airlines,
renewing the deal.
Yeah, Qatar. Well, they were asked to double the 25 million they put up. So Qatar Airlines are going to step in.
That's a lot to double the cash.
And listen to this, right? Stefano Domenicali, right, the head of F1.
Yeah.
Used to be team principal for Ferrari. Then went to work for Lamborghini. Lamborghini's owned by the VW Group, Audi VW Group.
Yeah.
Guess who owns 17% of the VW Group?
Tina Turner?
Qatari Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Those people, I don't know. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of oil.
And guess what's happened? You know, Qatar's not on the F1 calendar this year because they're hosting the World Cup, controversially.
Yeah.
And so it's coming back next year to coincide with Audi entering. Well, they're entering in 2026, aren't they? So that's part of the VW family as well.
What?
So yeah, a lot of action in that corner of the sport.
That corner of the sport, lots of oil money. That's what it is. And so you said the Qatari, is that the Qatari government?
It's the Sovereign Wealth Fund, so it's the royal family's fund management, basically.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say about that, to be honest.
It's quite incestuous, that, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole of that. I don't even know what to say about those kind of Saudi kind of things and those princes and all that.
Yeah. It's a tough one, you know, because obviously the sport benefits from the money and the exposure and all that kind of stuff. But do you really want to endorse the principles that they stand for?
This is that whole politics and sport thing, isn't it? It's Here we go again, you know. And so they're all going on TV doing their whole woke stuff, you know, doing their little kneel or whatever they do, but actually in reality,
you know, it's all one,
performance.
Vettel and Hamilton coming out for gay rights and LGBT rights and all these kind of things, and then in Qatar it's entirely illegal, and it's according to a prominent sport minister in Qatar this last week, that it's a mental affliction.
Wow, a mental affliction.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is weeks ahead of them hosting multinational supporters groups for the World Cup, and having to give assurances to countries at government level that all of their citizens will be treated equally, no matter what their sexual orientation is. It's shocking that that's needed to be done in these days.
But it's not, is it? I mean, there were some countries that it's just.
Oh yeah. But why are they
it doesn't
why
shock
are they
me.
being given the opportunity to host these multinational events if they don't hold to the standards and the social norms of those multinational countries? You know, the majority of the countries in the World Cup, it's an accepted part of life, and it's not a big thing. It's not illegal. And then all of a sudden, this country is given. I mean, it's going to earn them a fortune in money.
That's money. It's just money. Yeah. Money talks, doesn't it? It doesn't matter. I don't care about your principles or your ideologies. Just if you've got the money, you can do it.
Give it to the presidents. Yeah.
It shows that kind of immoral side to any ideology. So capitalism, whatever.
Is it amoral or immoral?
It depends on what side of the fence you sit on morality in itself, doesn't it? If you don't believe in morals, then it's amoral, because it's not a moral standpoint at all, because morals don't exist. Or it's immoral if you've got a moral foundation. So they all pretend to have these moral foundations. I'm not saying the drivers or all the mechanics or people like that. They do, you know, right, yeah. But business is business, and money's money, isn't it? And the morals go out the window.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the F1 Show podcast.
Well, yeah, we tackle the questions that other F1 podcasters won't bother. It's all too much, you know. It's all a bit. It's a murky, horrible world out there, isn't it? And he says as he burps.
So in other news, Logan Sargent is driving again in Formula 1 free practice in the Brazilian Grand Prix. He's sitting in Alex Albon's seat this time.
Really? Not Latifi's.
Well, hopefully, if he does this one and the one in Abu Dhabi, then he'll have enough super license points, and that's what the job offer is dependent on.
That kind of like point system for the license, yeah.
So he only completed 96 kilometers, meaning he was ineligible for the point. There you go. That's interesting. You have to do a certain amount of mileage to get the point.
Here's some news. Formula One. Could F1 stage a Caribbean Grand Prix in Colombia? That wouldn't be a Caribbean Grand Prix. It'd be the Colombian Grand Prix.
It's on the coast of the Caribbean Sea.
Is it a Caribbean Sea?
Yeah.
Is that not just an area of islands? Isn't the Caribbean the islands, or is it the sea?
The sea.
Well, I should know a bit more. I mean, you know a lot more about it than me, but why would they not call it the Colombian Grand Prix, though? There's been a Colombian driver, hasn't there? I think there has.
It's the same as the American Grand Prix and then the Miami Grand Prix. Is it endorsed by the nation as a whole or just by that one region?
There's been a Colombian F1 driver before. Let's have a look. Colombian F1 driver. Formula One drivers from Colombia. Let's have a look. Let's go through the list. Ricardo Landorno is listed as the first Colombian racer in F1. He was entered by Ensign for the 1981 Brazilian Grand Prix. A year later, Roberto Guerrero was snapped up by Ensign. Ensign really likes Colombian drivers, or did. Juan Pablo Montoya, of course. He was a great driver. He was a great driver.
Great personality seems as well in the paddock nowadays.
He's back in the early noughties. Juan Pablo Montoya. He's someone that should have been. He should have been someone.
He should have been a contender.
F1 career. How did he get close to the F1 Championship? I looked at the top 5 F1 moments at Brazil, and he took it to old Michael Schumacher back in the day, old Pablo Montoya.
Is Michael Schumacher related to Mick Schumacher?
I don't know. There must be some kind of connection.
I think there might be. I'm not sure.
There must be.
What about Ralph Schumacher? It's a very common name in the driving world, isn't it?
How would it?
There's no chance that they're related, though. It's
just a coincidence. Just a coincidence. Where did it all shut your face? NASCAR, right? He he drove for McLaren and Williams. What's his highest standing in F1 career? Let's have a look. Montoya made his full
Mexico, that's pretty high up, isn't it, Mexico?
In his third race, the Brazilian Grand Prix, he qualified in 4th place. He really did. Second round, Malaysia, he better in 6th place. He really took it. Did I go all funny?
Yeah.
It
was nothing to do with the connection. It was just your bad speaking.
Oh, that was. All right. So let's have some more Formula 1 news. Right. Who is king of the F1?
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane.
So, who is king of the F1 sprint? Who is king of the F1 sprint? Which driver has scored the most points in the F1 sprint? Who do you reckon?
Who's scored the most points, or who's scored the
most wins in F1 sprint?
Most wins in F1 sprint. Carlos Sainz.
Really? Max Verstappen with 3 and Valtteri Bottas with 2.
Valtteri.
Max Verstappen's the most points. Leclerc 14 points second. Carlos Sainz third. Perez, Bottas, Russell. It's a bit of a boring list, really. I don't know why. Let's have a look at what was I looking at there? Who is king? There's a up and coming Brazilian driver. I just saw that on the news here. Where was it? Who is Felipe Drugovich? That doesn't sound like a Brazilian name. Does it? What are you laughing at? What's funny?
He's the reserve driver for Aston Martin and the current Formula 2 champion, I think.
Did you just Google that?
No, I knew it.
You knew it, and that's why you were laughing. Since
Yeah.
Felipe Massa's retirement at the end of 2017, there's been no Brazilian on the F1 grid. Yeah, obviously. However,
No Brazilian driver. I'm sure there's been plenty of Brazilians on the F1 grid. Meh.
Jesus Christ. So Emerson Fittipaldi.
Hopefully,
Are these
yeah.
the only? Oh yeah, there's lots of Brazilians. Well, so we had Emerson Fittipaldi was a Brazilian driver, obviously world champion a couple of times. Nelson Piquet, 3 times world champion, I think. That young man was. Piquet. Everybody loves him now, don't they? Hey. Anyway, Ayrton Senna, obviously.
Everyone loves his daughter. But
So Rubino, I love Rubens Barrichello, who's one of my favourite Formula One drivers, and Massa as well. The 32nd world champion. The talent pool for Brazil has dried up in recent years, with there being no Brazilian on the F1 grid since 2018. Literally the same statement as you made at the top of the article. Jesus Christ, he writes these. Felipe Drogovic, the current F2 champion, stormed the F2 title with a relative ease in 22. What? Here we go. What?
there we go. I told you he was. That's why you should know who he is.
I should do, but if it's not the 70s or 80s, I don't know who he is. He then made a single city debut in 26. This is his career now. Early promotion. Why is he not on the grid then? Oh, there's my phone. Spaghetti. F1 champion. Despite an incredible F2. What? Who are you? Go away.
You turned your grinder notifications off.
You're such a dickhead. Stop.
Is it grinder? Yay.
Yay.
Area. Jose would like to meet you in the park.
Oh no, it's someone who's watching our previous podcast.
Oh yeah?
Oh God.
We're gonna give him a shout out, send him a
the blonde bombshell. The blonde bombshell's listening. There you go.
Blonde bombshell.
The blonde bombshell. That's his name. Hey! That's her name. That's her name.
I'll get in there first.
His role with Aston Martin should be given a chance to impress. It's all sewn up. This is what happens at the end of a season where you finished too soon. Hey? Who misses?
Nobody's ever said that to you, have they?
Oh, every time. And so there's not a lot to talk about.
Not really.
Not really. So let's have a look at some more F1 news here, guys. Podcast listeners, we're sorry that it's a slow kind of week. It's just the Schumacher Hulkenberg stuff all the time, and all the news articles, all they say is, "Well, we don't really know yet, but we're just going to have clickbait."
We're just putting something in because
Oh yeah, can Hamilton end win drought at his second home race? Because obviously now.
How does the 2022 F1 sprint qualifying format work? It's the second to last race, mate. There's no point putting this in now. If people don't know how it works by now, they're not going to start watching right now the second to last race of the season. These idiots, they get their money easy, don't they? We should be doing this. We should host a website. Turn out everybody else's.
Well, once we get our 4,000 hours watch time and our 1,000 subscribers, we start earning money on this. Why don't we just do it? We could put rubbish titles. We could put news articles up about anything, can we? Anything we want.
Oh, hang on.
Top 10 F1 nicknames. Here we go.
Here's some breaking news.
Oh, right now, breaking right now.
Breaking right now. Sergio Perez is wearing a Black Panther helmet for the Brazilian Grand Prix. That's the movie, Wakanda Forever.
Best F1 nicknames of all time. Here we go. Best F1 nicknames. I'll accept those cookies. Yum yum. While they're trackers.
There are no matches for that in your order history. To view your past purchases, go to your orders on Amazon.
Hey Alexa, play the Effing One Show podcast.
Can't hear you. Because I've got headphones on.
Yeah, but you were sitting waiting for it to happen.
I know.
I couldn't hear it. Why can't the speaker?
What's wrong with this? Alexa, play the Effing One Show podcast.
getting the F1 Show's podcast from Amazon Music?
Now you're frozen.
No. You can skip between podcast episodes by asking for the next or previous episode.
Here we go.
Now for your podcast.
There we go. What number?
F1 Show number 25.
Number 25?
Anyway, that's a great start, isn't it? That's a great
Alexa, stop! Alexa, stop. Number 25? Didn't even play the intro music.
Or something, are we?
Didn't... What are we on now? I don't know. Right, here you go. Best F1 nicknames: Schumacher, Schumi, and the Red Baron. I never heard him could be called the Red Baron
No.
when he was racing. Never heard that. That's fake news, people. Fake news.
Oh, yeah, we're on number 30. This is number 35, this one.
It's number 35. Ayrton Senna, Silverstone, and Magic Senna. Again, never mentioned when he was racing. Who's coming up with this list?
How do you know there wasn't social media? So unless you're in the paddock talking to him,
Yeah. Now Nigel Mansell was called Il Leone, which is lion, and I remember that because when he drove for Ferrari, they called him the Lion. Ferrari fans loved Nigel Mansell when he was driving for them. Didn't have much luck. Nicky Lauda, guess his nickname. That's a long silence there.
Nicky Lauda. I don't know. Fire crotch. Don't know.
Now my brain's thinking now. Stop it. Right. It's even worse than that, actually. It's called the Rat. His nickname was the Rat.
Rat. Oh, that's
the Rat. Mostly because of his teeth. Not because
I think the new British Prime Minister looks like Roland Rat.
No, but I don't like him. But I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
like all multi-billionaires. Don't get me started. Kimi Raikkonen. Everybody knows his nickname. Come on.
Iceman.
Yes. Lewis Hamilton. Here we go. What's his nickname? No? Your side. You could say I don't know. It would help the podcast if you just didn't sit there and say.
I don't know.
The $1 billion man.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay. That's it. Max Verstappen. Again, the silence. Brilliant. This is why we have only one dedicated Mad Max. That's rubbish. That is rubbish.
Can you let me share the screen again?
Oh, here we go. That's more editing for me. Brilliant. Listen to my mind. Yeah, fans. Right, okay. Here we go. Let's find another nickname. Alain Prost. I know this one. I knew this one anyway. Alain Prost. The Professor. The Professor. Okay.
Can we acknowledge this for a second?
I think he looks a bit. Who's the comedian? Who's the comedian that he looks like? Oh my God! Look at the spit image, dummy. You've got to love spit image. They've kept to the same aesthetic, haven't they? They've kept to the. Is there a Lewis Hamilton one? Lewis Hamilton spitting image, dummy. Go on. Brendan Joyce at yabbadabadoo.com. Spitting image dummy. While you're doing that, I'll just read out what you're typing. That's always funny. Yep, there he is. That's a good one. I do like it.
That's not bad, eh?
Oh, there's another one that I don't know what that one is.
It's not like the Bo Selector one, anyway.
Yeah. What about Sebastian Vettel? What's his nickname?
His nickname. Let's go back to the important stuff. No idea.
The Finger. I wouldn't want that as a nickname. Why would you want that as a nickname? Did he do that?
Yeah, he did that all the time, yeah.
I've never seen him do
21. Were you not watching it back then? Come on.
James Hunt.
That's what you call other people, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. James Hunt, come on.
No idea.
Hunt the Shunt, because he was always crashing. In his earliest, he got the nickname Hunt the Shunt. Graham Hill. What about Graham Hill? Yeah, you remember that, don't you? Old man?
Yeah, no.
What's his nickname?
Damon's dad? No.
God's seen Nico Rosberg's is quite good. Mr. Monaco for Graham Hill.
All right, okay.
Nico Rosberg, do you want to have a guess?
Lewis's downfall?
Yeah. I like Nico Rosberg. He did it once. That's all you need to do.
I do. He's just the king of mic drop.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it. Quit while you're undefeated world champion. That's what you could say, can't you?
Do you think he was like, I'm never going to be able to drive that good again? Or do you think he was just like satisfied? I mean, is it a lack of ambition or is it realizing that it was a one-off?
I think it's because you've got kids. I truly believe that. He had a young family and he just thought, I want to be world champions once. Young family. And it is a dangerous sport.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as dangerous as it used to be.
Yeah, well, it was dangerous back then, more so than it is now.
But yeah, Nico Rosberg's nickname was Brittany. Can't even... Rosberg's Brittany nickname goes all the way back to 2006 F1 season. His nickname refers to a pop icon, Britney Spears, obviously. Nico's long blonde hair was the inspiration for the humorous nickname. Mark Webber, his Williams teammate, started calling... Seriously? Busy night on Grindr, isn't it?
Are we live streaming this to your Grindr feed?
Oh, stop. I'm going to... Right. Okay. Oh, my God. The Blonde Bombshell is really enjoying that podcast. Okay, let's just turn this off.
Hang on, is she listening to it now?
No, she's an old one.
I know, but is she listening to that old one now?
Yeah. Rosberg, Brittany, nickname called Ros... No. In final season, Rosberg's nickname became public in Brazil after a crash between Rosberg and Webber. Oh, right. So it was like a private nickname between Webber and Rosberg. But in the final season, when he crashed, he went, bloody Brittany.
Bloody Brittany's in the way again.
Who else? Daniel Ricciardo. Obviously, we've talked about the Honey Badger. Who else have we got here? Mika Hakkinen. No, I knew this one.
Flying Finn.
Oh, well done. Well done. Yes. Okay. Gilles Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve, as I call Giles. Gilles Villeneuve, the aviator. Canadian Joseph Giles Henry Villeneuve made his Formula 1 debut in Canada in 1977. What a driver that man was. Horrible death. Awful. Excuse me. Villeneuve crashed with a Tyrrell at the next race in Japan, where his car spectacularly threw through the air. Giles was lucky to walk away from the crash unharmed. Enzo Ferrari was so shocked to see the underside of his Ferrari pictured in the newspaper and crazy Canadian written in the big titles. Okay, so let's have another one.
Oh.
Luca Badoa. This is quite a good one. Luca Badoa was an unsung hero of Ferrari team in the 2000s. While Schumacher was raking in the glory, Luca spent hours around the Farino test track, converting thousands of miles, developing the car, contributing to Ferrari's success. They're bigging him up now. Increasing restrictions and the inevitable ban on in-season testing meant Badoa had less track time. Ferrari was grateful for Luca's blah, 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 blah. Driving at the first race at the European Grand Prix, he was several seconds off the pace during the first practice session. Except in the pit lane, he was penalised for speeding 4 times.
Wow.
His nickname, ready? Luca Badoa, look how bad you are. Luca Badoa, look how bad you are. Look how bad you are. Luca Badoa. Yeah, it does what you've got to say it quickly. Okay, that's all the nicknames we've gone through. Oh, Nikita Mazepin.
Massive spin.
Well done. Play on words. Did you just guess that, or you googled it?
No. How am I? I'm not that quick at typing. Come on.
Okay. Pastor Maldonado. Did you remember him? He won a race in a Williams. I think he was. Was it Williams? I think it was Williams. Probably one of the last times Williams won a race. Very lucky. But his name was Pastor Maldonado, but his nickname was Crashter Maldonado. It's so bad, it's good.
That's bad.
Jos Verstappen. Old Max's dad.
Flaming pants.
Joss the boss. This is one of my favourites, and I remember it from the time. Okay. Where is it? Andrea de Cesaris. What do you reckon?
No idea.
Andrea de Crasherus.
I can see a
I
lot
don't know
of
why I'm
these
laughing.
made by the
It's so
same person.
bad. It's so bad, but it's quite funny. Juan Manuel Fangio, one of the all-time greats, was the all-time great before Schumacher and Hamilton destroyed the records. Was called El Maestro, the Maestro. That's a nice name.
Yeah, okay, that's nice. That one.
Nick Heidfeld. Do you remember him? You don't remember him. You remember Nick Heidfeld? When did you start?
I told you I watched it back in the day. I just can't
at
remember
me.
about it.
Being aggressive again.
I'm not being aggressive. I'm
Nick
Scottish.
Heidfeld. Well, what was you think his nickname was? Come on, for the love of God. We've got to fill this podcast up. Quick Nick. Terrible. Okay. Fernando Alonso.
Let's see if he's not taking that name off him, is he?
Fernando Alonso.
I've seen that one recently. What's his one?
I don't know. I don't know whether you've seen this one. I've never heard it.
Go on, what is it?
Teflonzo.
No, never heard that.
No. It's got Giancarlo Fisichella, and it says Physico. I've never heard that. I always thought they called it Fizzy. Whenever he was racing, he goes Fizzy. Mike Hailwood. Sorry, not Mike Hawthorne. Mike Hailwood.
Can we stick to drivers that we might have heard of?
Mike Hailwood. I've heard of him.
Okay, I have not.
Mike the Bike, because he went from bikes to Formula One. Emerson Fittipaldi.
No idea.
You could have got a guess. Emo. Vittoria Brambella. Oh God, I've heard of him, but no, I'm not going to go with that. Ronnie Peterson. No, I know this nickname. We could ask him because he's probably still alive.
Well, he retired from that job that we used.
Yeah, the Super Swede. The Super Swede, they called him. He should have been a champion. He was a great driver. Jarno Trulli.
Jarno Trulli. Oh no, it's going to be a play on words, isn't it?
Trulli the train. The Trulli train. What, does he just hold people up? He wasn't that bad. Mario Andretti. Now, this nickname doesn't make sense to me.
I think they called him it. He went out for a drive in a McLaren the other week, and he was the oldest person to drive a Formula One car of that era. Blah blah blah. Story. They might have said it in that piece, but I can't remember it. Go. What was it?
Super Mario.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah. There you go.
Eddie Irvine. Well, this is a good one. Well,
Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes. Wow. Where did that come from? I don't know what pictures you've been looking at Eddie Irvine and in what context. Let me just pour some more wine. Eddie Irvine, Irv the Swerve. Okay. I've never heard of these racers here. Yeah. You'll be thankful.
Oh, I've played. Why did I think he had blue eyes? Is he blue eyes? Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Gerhard Berger. Now, Berger nearly burnt alive in an accident, so I'd have thought that some kind of reference to that, but it's not. Gerhard Berger, what do you reckon?
I've played Eddie Irvine. Eddie Irvine had a house in Antigua, and he donated his foosball table to a bar in English Harbour in Antigua. The bar was a little ramshackle place, and it got wiped out in one of the storms. And his
foosball table. So Eddie Evans,
the guy that owned it was trying to rebuild it, and he needed furniture and stuff. So Eddie Irvine donated his foosball table to it. He came in. It was quite soon after that, actually. That was in there, and he came in and bought the bar a drink.
You were there when Eddie Irvine was there.
Yeah.
Wowzers. He was a good racer. He had a chance. He had a shot at it, you know. He wasn't far off. Could have been a contender. So what about Gerhard Berger?
The Burger Man?
Yeah, I'd have thought that. Something like that. Something reference to the fact that it nearly burned to death. Swearhard Burger.
Flame grilled?
Yeah, flame grilled burger.
He's the king. You
Burger King, something like that. Burger King.
Grilled Whopper.
I reckon we should be writing some nicknames. So, Vitaly Petrov, the Viborg rocket.
Petrov, no idea. Petrov bomb.
It's Petrov bomb. Yeah, Petrov bomb. No, the Viborg rocket. I mean, that's just rubbish, isn't it? Joachim Wilkenhock. Smoke.
So you're back in stock car racing drivers now, are you?
These are all for Roberto Moreno.
Never heard of him. Keep going until I've heard of one.
Roberto Moreno was.
How many races has Roberto Moreno got?
What, under his belt? He's not
in Formula One.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That wasn't his nickname, by the way, podcast listeners. Roberto Moreno. Let's see. Well, here we go. Formula One kit. Formula One substitute. Roberto what do you mean Formula One substitute? 82 to 87. He's an 80s and 90s dude. I can tell you now he didn't win a race.
Yeah, but how many did he drive in? That's what we need to know.
I'm doing it.
6. 2.
Wait. Shouting.
Certainly wasn't
Previous
8.
series. Oh, where's the stats on this dude? I've got to just scroll now. What's this one? Where are we? Career summary. Keep listening. Complete Formula One results. Right, okay. Chassis. He drove a Lotus. Oh, I can't be bothered to count. He's got quite. Yeah, he's done a few seasons. Oh, he's like a reserve. He did a full season.
As a reserve.
No, complete Formula One. Yeah, retired. There's a lot of did not qualify. I remember this guy. He didn't, he did the Indianapolis 500. 19th. He finished as high as in a Lola. Wow, there you go. Yeah, Andrea Modena. What?
Great segment.
Hey, that was a good segment, podcasters. If you want more, if you want to think up of more podcast, F1 driver nicknames, pop it in the comments, and I want to read them. Okay.
Carl, you definitely got some in there, mate. Come on.
Come on, Carl. Come on, let's have some nicknames from Carl. I think you're frozen again. This connection tonight is just terrible.
And we're back.
We're back. Guys, we're podcast listeners. We've noticed a real drop-off in our podcast listeners. But so just stick with us. I know we're not top quality, but we never promised a rose garden. I'm just getting that out of the way because we say that every time.
You should have that on the button every time you see that.
I'm going to say that. Yeah, and then all the money that we don't make from this will just go to copyright claim.
No, you get one of the Reeves and Mortimer pub singer versions of it. Okay. And if you'd like to hear it sung properly, it goes like this.
Yeah. Wolfgang
right.
von Trips.
Oh, we're off that bit now. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Okay,
yeah,
guys,
go, mate. We're done.
Let's go. This is the end of the F1 Show podcast. We're sorry if we went to pit talk and we didn't go to any other segments, did we? Because there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on but the rent. And on that note, we are going to sign off from the F1 Show podcast, people.
Enjoy the race on Sunday.
Enjoy the race on Sunday and the sprint race. And you enjoy the fact that I'm going to probably wrap up the championship between us two. I don't think so. That's going down to the wire, isn't it?
Down to the wire, mate.
That's more exciting. Our predictions are more
adjudicator.
More exciting.
Who's the adjudicator? Who are we going to blame? Who am I going to blame when I get beaten by you in the last round? Who am I going to whine about for the next year because you beat me fair and square in the last race because I chose
stolen. You could say it's stolen.
I chose not to pit during a safety car and lost the whole race. Who am I going to blame for that?
You could blame Nicholas Latifi.
All right,
why not?
okay.
Why not? He's out of the.
Everyone else blames him for everything else. This has been the F1 Show podcast, people.
We'll see